Hey guys, how's it going? So it's been a little bit. This is my brand new chassis. Yeah. This is actually the chassis from the silver car, the first Spitfire, the 65. I sent it out, and thanks to some family members' help, got it sandblasted and powder coated. Brought it back to the shop today, and looking pretty swanky, if I do say so myself. Before I sent it out, I did take some time. There's a lot of little clips for wiring and stuff that were running all around. They used them for the fuel and the brakes and the wiring, and I just didn't like them, so I'm going to use some new stainless steel P-clips for those. But yeah, so I did some grinding down. You can see whoever did the welding on this was not exactly professional. I mean, I guess they were professional by definition. I've just been going through and tapping out all the threaded fasteners, holes that I could find on it. There's only a dozen or so. Most everything is through bolted because this thing is just thin sheet metal. But yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. We did go ahead and find it. I got this stuff, not sponsored or anything, but I got this internal frame coating from Eastwood. Went through 3 cans of it. We blew out all the dust. We pressure washed inside and out before I had it sandblasted, and we blew out all the dust that I could. That stuff's pretty much no prep anyway, and sprayed it as thoroughly inside of the chassis as possible. So this thing should be pretty darned rust proof. It's still inside there curing. And then we took solvent, the pre-paint solvent, whatever it's called, that Eastwood sells. That's what they recommended for cleanup, and wiped the whole chassis down. So you can see there's some spots where you can see that, you know, the gloss level isn't completely correct. But you're never going to see the whole back of this chassis, so I didn't spend, I had a friend helping me, but I didn't want to spend 3 hours scrubbing it. Just microfibers, little white, zero grit scuff, or non-gritty, non-abrasive Scotch-Brites, and blue shop towels to get most of it off. I really focused on up here because this is all of the chassis you're going to see when the car is assembled and the hood's open. So yeah, it looks pretty darn good. Was surprisingly affordable, especially when you have family members helping you out pay for it. But really it was not as bad as I thought it would be. You can actually see in here, see that stuff's still wet. Took 3 cans and we got one good coat, flipped it upside down, and then got one really good coat, and then turned it back over and kind of sloshed it around a little bit, tipping it up on its sides and stuff. So I think I might still put some of that fluid film in there, but it should be fine. Also, while it was out for sandblasting and powder coat, I had a few other pieces done. So there's 2 of these. These are the front suspension mounts and engine mounts. That's some of the parts for the leaf spring. I got a new leaf spring for this, or used leaf spring. This is from a later model car, and it's called a swing spring. So once it's actually installed, it can slide a little bit in the middle, and that helps out with the negative caster or camber problems that these cars are prone to. I had him sandblast the drive shaft, but we did not powder coat that because I got this the same day I dropped it off to the guy, and I didn't have time to press out all these. So I'll do that here, paint them up myself, be fine. So, and then, yeah, big sway bar. This is off of a later model Spitfire. I got a bigger sway bar also. I'm going to lower the car, maybe the rear. I've got a 1-inch lowering block. We'll see what it ends up looking like, but I do need to get this guy into primer like today or tomorrow. But that's not a big deal. It's kind of big to paint, but I'll manage. I'll probably get it from the garage door opener or something. So there's all that. That's all nice and pretty much ready to go, except for the drive shaft, and I got to push. I didn't already say so. I got to press out the bushings there and put new ones in. Surprisingly, this leaf spring, if you can see, but there's no way to take it apart. completely without removing these clips. And those seem to have been, I don't know how they did this, honestly. I think that maybe if you reverse bent the spring, like you're stringing a longbow and bent it backwards, maybe you could get this piece out. But you did a pretty good job of getting stuff in there. Really, it doesn't matter how well painted that is. It's going to scuff up internally, and I'm going to put some graphite or some grease or something in there when I restack these. I've got to make sure I've got the right hardware, and I've got to sandblast a few parts of my own to get this all taken care of. The other thing that's been going on, this is the long block, effectively, of the engine that was in the red car, so the 66. I got a little steam cleaner, and I've got a pressure washer, and again, me and my friend, I won't say his name, but thank you, you know who you are. We steam cleaned this pretty good, and I've already done the valve cover and the oil pan on it. Probably gonna do those again because some of the paint came off. I think I'm gonna get some better paint. That's a 2K aerosol paint, but I'm debating on sending the engine out for rebuild, or at least machining, and I'll rebuild it myself. This is a running engine, or it was before I took it apart. I had it running in a video several months ago. But I had started doing the timing chain on it, and things, as they do, just kind of got out of control. So yeah, that's all that stuff. And I think I showed this in a previous video. This is a triangular section of the frame, and this is what actually rotted out in this, or in the red car's chassis. So I made sure to put a whole bunch of that chassis prep stuff in there, the internal frame coating in there. And again, I'll probably put some of that lanolin in. And then when I go to reassemble this, this is where the fuel and brake lines go through. On this side, the other side, nothing runs through. I'm gonna put some grommets in there and keep it sealed. So, because the front wheel will be right there, kicking up dirt into there. That's why cars rust. It's not necessarily just water. Water doesn't help, but it's mostly dirt, in my opinion. I mean, if you're in New England, it's salt. But in the Midwest here, I think it's mostly dirt. But yeah, it looks really good. Again, factory welds are kind of like, I think I could have done better on a lot of these, but that's fine.